Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another recent horror movie review. But first I want to do a quick update of some things I've got over the last couple weeks. Which one, I think this is my first video in my new Twilight Zone shirt. Favorite show, my favorite logo of the show. I do want to do a series of Twilight Zone videos, like episode reviews, countdowns, and whatnot. Just got to find the time to do it. I don't think I could do a top 10, to be honest with you. But anyway. So some stuff I got. One comic I did pick up was Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, Volume 1. This is not from the late 80s, early 90s Legends of the Dark Knight. This is the 2012 web series that they put into comics. I've had volumes 2 through 5 for some time. I found them all really cheap. But I've not been able to find Volume 1 anywhere. And then I finally found it for like $7, and I was like, definitely picking it up. So glad I have that. I do have Volume 11 by Tom King. It's in my bag for work. But, so yeah, I've reviewed his last 2 volumes, actually. So now for films, some of these I've already reviewed, like The Belko Experiment, which was a lot of fun. Midsummer, which people are going to say, because they've already been saying in the comments, that it's above opinion, that it's good. I have my issues with it. Anyone can have issues with any movie. It doesn't mean I don't understand it. I fucking understand this movie. I just didn't like the ending. Or some of the stuff in it. It is well made. It is beautifully made. It is a well-made film, yes. I just don't like my intelligence insulted on my own channel. I got the fucking movie. I just didn't care for the ending or some of the plot details. Color Out of Space, new Lovecraft film. Excited to see, Richard Stanley's next 2 Lovecraft films, which hopefully he gets to do. Which, because of that, I've been going back and trying to find more Lovecraft films. Like, I also picked up Dagon, which I've actually never seen. Stuart Gordon, director of Reanimator. I've known about this for a while. The guy that tattooed my arm years ago, he was a big Lovecraft fan. He always talked about this movie. Sort of an earlier adaptation or inspiration of Color Out of Space is Die Monster Die with Boris Karloff. It says, screenplay by Jerry Soule from The Color Out of Space by Lovecraft. I don't think it's a straight-up adaptation. Haven't got around to watching this yet. Another Lovecraft film, Beyond the Wall of Sleep. I started to watch this, but I was answering comments on YouTube, looking up stuff. I wasn't fully invested, and also it is very, very poorly made. It's like a Stephen C. Miller film, like Automaton Transfusion or something. I'll have to watch it again when I can be fully invested, but another Lovecraft film. Another Lovecraft film is, this one came out in, I think, 2010, Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I'm actually going to watch next. And don't tell me any more Lovecraft films. I already have a list of all of them on my phone, movies to get. So I'm already aware of Lovecraft films. I know there's a bunch out there. And I've also reviewed this, In Search of Darkness, the 4.5-hour documentary on 80s horror. This was a blast to sit through. And then, only because I've never seen this in person, or for how cheap, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, another 80s slasher. Always glad to pick up an 80s slasher film. And then this is something that I thought was really neat. I found for fairly cheap. It is the Val Lewton Horror Collection. It's 9 movies. One of them is The Body Snatcher, which I already had. But it also comes with a Val Lewton, The Man in the Shadows documentary by Martin Scorsese. Oh, Oh, that's just an extra sleeve. Okay, that actually looks a lot better. Big producer in the 40s. Comes with Isle of the Dead, Bedlam, The Leopard Man, The Ghost Ship, Cat People, Curse of the Cat People. I've been meaning to see those. The Seventh Victim and Shadows in the Dark. The Val Lewton Legacy. I think that's actually... Oh, yeah, it's a documentary. And then I Walked with the Zombie and The Body Snatcher. I loved The Body Snatcher. Yeah, I found this for like less than $30, and I was just like, why all Val Lewton movies? Why not? And then I found this for cheap. It's just a collection of Hammer films. Two Faces of Jekyll, Stop Me Before I Kill, Scream of Fear, The Gorgon or Gorgon, and Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, which I already had. And the film in which this is a review, now 6 minutes in, and from the director of Beyond the Black Rainbow, Panos Cosmatos, probably pronounced that wrong, is Mandy with Nicolas Cage. Now, I know on top of doing like 40 movies a month, Nicolas Cage is in everything. I know he's been doing a lot of horror films. I think the first one I noticed was Mom and Dad, which I never got around to seeing. This is a film from 2018. I remember when it came out. Again, not being a Cage fan, I didn't really look too much into it. But while watching Color Out of Space, there was a trailer for Mandy. And I thought it looked very interesting. I really wanted to check it out. And it was from the same director as Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I was really interested in seeing. Who's a very visual filmmaker. Of course, this comes with the reversible cover, which I actually like this cover more. I think that's really cool looking. Kind of looks like if Lovecraft did Mad Max, which that's what this feels like. Overall, I would say it's like if you take Mad Max, a little bit of Lovecraft, a little bit of Hellraiser, like Evil Dead level blood and gore, with a real modern kind of sort of artsy twist to it. I really enjoyed Mandy. And what this director is good at is he takes a simple story, which, like this, it's a guy played by Nicolas Cage, whose wife or girlfriend, whatever she is Mandy. They're attacked by this Manson family type cult called the Children of the New Dawn, led by Linus Roach, if I pronounce that right. People who watch Vikings will know him as King Egbert, who is the most Machiavellian, cunning, despicable villains in all of Vikings. Yeah, I do love that show. He's the leader of the cult. They kill Mandy, and he comes back for revenge in just a bloody, ultra-violent, cocaine, LSD-fueled, messy way. And it is a blast. I mean, the first half is kind of slow, but once, Nicolas Cage goes into full Punisher mode, it really gets going. And I really like the cinematography of this. It's like, you know how, like, a Saw film, like the earlier Saw films, every shot has, like, that tint of green or blue to it. Purple and pink and, I guess, some blues is this, like, this is how the movie looks. Not too dissimilar from Color Out of Space. I really like how in the beginning, like, it doesn't really have opening credits, at least not that I caught, but it opens up in, what does it say? Sunny Mountains? Shadow Mountains. This title card, nice blue neon letters, sort of in the font of like the Innkeepers from 2011. This sort of cursive-y looking, pleasant font. Shadow Mountains, 1983. And then an hour and 15 minutes in, once he makes this badass thing, we get another title card in pink or purple. It says Mandy in like this brutal death metal logo that just kind of creeps down like Creep Show. I was like, that's badass. He works as a lodger. Mandy works at a clerk at a gas station way out in the middle of nowhere, out in the mountains. And there's a van with the Children of the New Dawn, led by Jeremiah Sand, who's King Egbert from Vikings. He becomes smitten with Mandy's beauty, and that's when they break into their home, beat and subdue him. They drug her up, like they put LSD in, they drop it in her eye, and they sting her on the neck with the giant black wasp. And he professes how Jesus sent like, destined to put those two together, or whatever. It goes on some Manson-y, Jesus freak bullshit. And he undoes his robe, so we can see his dick. And it's drug fueled, so it's like slow motion and kind of harmonized. She laughs at him. And it's like he's trying to get himself hard, and he's yelling to shut up, and they kill her in front of him. They stab him, but he lives. And the thing about Nicolas Cage, again, I'm not a fan of his. As much as I enjoyed this movie, I would say his performance was, parts of it was a little too distracting. I haven't seen Vampire's Kiss or, what is it, Honeymoon in Vegas, like some of his better films. Con Air I like, but I don't like him. I watch it for John Malkovich. He's known to be really over the top. And this, there are parts that are over the top, but it's really a subdued performance. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue. It is mostly like expression acting. It's all in his face and body language. Even the scene where when he comes to and he goes in the bathroom. I guess he's a recovering alcoholic. He drinks some vodka, he pours it on his wounds, and then out of shock, pain, grief, he just starts screaming. And it doesn't feel over the top. It feels earned and raw. I really like Nicolas Cage's performance in this. He seems really detached, like he's just focused on this vengeance, which I really liked. Even when he starts getting into the vengeance, he ingests some of their LSD, which is like this super crazy LSD. And the reason why I say a little bit of Hellraiser is because there's this biker gang called the Black Skulls who sort of do the bidding of Jeremiah Sand, the leader. They were given a bad batch of this LSD, and it sort of turned him into Cenobite-looking monsters who have like harmonized monster voices. We don't really get to see what they look like. But, once he comes to and decides to take revenge and he makes this thing, the movie doesn't waste any time. He goes right into it. And, I mean, it is just bloody. It is fun. Very artistic with its visual style. I mean, like, when he takes the LSD, I would almost say it's kind of like Natural Born Killers, like with its editing and just random stuff thrown in it. Like, there's a part where he's talking to the chemist, the guy who makes all the LSD, who was captured by the cult. He's played by Richard Brake, great character actor. I think my favorite actor that Rob Zombie uses, he played Doomhead in 31. He needs to play Joker in like an R-rated, gritty Batman movie. Where it's like he's explaining to him some stuff and we just get this vision of like a tiger in like a forest that looks like it's burning, but it's just the auras of colors, like the tiger roaring. When he takes LSD, we get, it looks like a burning forest with a radio tower, a face melting. It's just high energy editing, lots of stuff thrown in it. Visually striking. I mean, me talking about it isn't gonna do it justice because I'm gonna miss some stuff. A primal psychedelic rage scream of a movie / film. I would agree with that. It is. It's not psychedelic in like a trippy hippie kind of way. What it is, but very dark. And the one, I think he lets one girl live. The one bald guy he kills by shoving that down his throat. I think he lets her live. I'm gonna say spoilers from here on out because when I talk about what happens to Jeremiah, it's gonna spoil season, I think, 3 of Vikings. So I don't want to spoil that for anyone either. So I'm gonna say spoilers. Plus, this came out 2018. Check out Mandy, because before I get into spoilers, Rambo Rat for Life reviewed this and he really liked it, and he made some good points. It's like, why are movies like this not getting wide releases? Same with this. This was only released in 81 theaters for not a lot of time. I'm not sure how wide this film got. Is it Sundance? Limited release, 250 theaters on September 13th. And then it got released on VOD September 14th. Why are movies like this not getting wide releases? If it's not a sequel, a remake, a reboot, just another thing that we've seen 100 times, like a Blumhouse film. I'm fucking sick of Blumhouse. Yeah, once in a while you get, from Blumhouse, you get like a Get Out. Or theatrically, you might get, and I'm just holding this up because I don't have Hereditary next to me. Or like a Robert Eggers film. Once in a while you get stuff like that. But why don't these get wide releases? It's like Hollywood doesn't want to take chances with original ideas, or if they're not original ideas, because I mean this is based off a story, and this is a revenge story. It's not super original, but the presentation and the filmmaking is very original. They don't want to take chances. They just want to release, the 4th or 5th film of this hit series, or they want to remake that, do a reboot of this, take the formula from these. And so, like, when people like myself or Rambo Rat for Life or who else just shits on modern horror movies, people think we're either trolls or just hate everything. Which, no. Just, all these films are in the independents, don't get wide releases. Can't Hollywood just look at, like, the Rotten Tomatoes or the reviews of films like this and say, hey, there's actually some good shit out there? Just a little rant on Hollywood. But anyway, yeah, spoilers. Highly recommend this. This is just visually striking, high energy. Again, it starts off slow, but it picks up. Gory, ultra violent, fun. Very entertaining. The one death that we don't really get to see is and I thought it worked, was I'm guessing it's like an older lady. She has like white hair. Sort of the right hand or whatever, I guess, of Jeremiah. She tries to seduce Cage by saying, she's the most sensual lover Jeremiah's ever had. And while she's giving that speech while like touching his shoulders and stuff about how good she is at sex, she says, the most sensual lover because of my sensitivity. And he's just kind of looking at the door where Jeremiah is. But then she says, because of my empathy. And when she says empathy, he just, like you don't have empathy. Like, you don't give a fuck. And then it just fades to black, and we see Jeremiah in his altar, I guess. And he just throws her head in there. This guy, Linus Roach, gave a good performance. I liked his death because I honestly think his death, we were robbed in Vikings. Because in Vikings, he was just a vile, cunning, despicable, just incredibly cunning villain that lied, deceived, and fucked, both literally and figuratively, anyone he could to stay on top. And then at the end, he was granted the choice of how and where he dies, which was slitting his wrists in his pool, like his Roman relaxation pool. So he got the most pleasant death possible. Here he got his fucking head crushed with his eyeballs sticking out. He was humiliated because he's talking about how he's like God's prophet. But as soon as Nicolas Cage grabs him, he's like, "No, don't hurt me." He even says, "I'll suck your fucking dick." But then he starts getting like the, "You should kneel before me." And you get that great line because Cage is all fueled off coke and LSD. He's got that harmonizer monster voice. He's like, "I am your god now." I really like the shot at the end when he's in his car. We kind of get a quick scene, I'm guessing, of how him and Mandy met at like a bar. So we see him in his 44 shirt, all clean. But then when he's in his car, he's all bloody like this, imagining her in the passenger seat. And then we just see them drive away, and the landscape in the back is like Lovecraftian, otherworld. Like it's green down here, then like purple and pink, and then like red, orange, and yellow, with like multiple suns and planets, like jagged mountains, and very otherworldly. And again, visually, this movie is just stunning, beautiful, beautiful to watch. Again, I can't do it justice. Just talking about visually how great this movie is. It's one of those things you just got to see it for yourself. But I think there was more I wanted to say, but yeah, I'm not sure what else this guy has done other than that and the Beyond the Black Rainbow. Oh, he's actually Greek Canadian, known for Beyond the Black Rainbow and Mandy. Those are his only two films. Okay. Well, I had the feeling I'm gonna dig this film as well. From the back, it looks like a sort of like a 2001 kind of looking film. Excited to check this out. I really am. I'm watching this next. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, you probably because you haven't heard of it because it didn't get a wide release, but highly recommend it. Definitely, I really enjoyed it. Anyway, that is my review for Mandy. Thank you for watching.